Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 2 in a series on my 1999 Chris Craft Bow Rider project boat. As you can see here, I'm still working on the seat. I've finished the wood construction of it and now I'm just working on fiberglassing. It doesn't look like much right now, but it's coming along pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I've done one sheet across, actually I think maybe this was 2 sheets across the top, and then a whole bunch of reinforcing on the back as well as on the front. Right at the back of the seat there. So you can see there's a few bubbles that I have to take care of. I think I put 3 or 4 layers of the fiberglass on that, and on the last one I ended up getting a bunch of bubbles. So it doesn't look the greatest. I'll have to sand that out and kind of fix it up. And once that's all done, I'll be painting this whole thing with marine paint, and then I'll be doing the vinyl covering for it. Alright, so skipping ahead, as you can see, I've sanded everything down, and I've put 2 coats of the paint on it everywhere I can get to, front and back, and that should do a pretty good job of keeping any water out. So it doesn't, it looks okay. It's not perfect, but it doesn't really matter. You're not going to see any of this anyway. Since I started this project, I've been curious what the weight difference is between this new one and the old one that I pulled out of the boat. So as you can see here, I grabbed my scale. I'm going to try and lift both of these on there and see what the weight difference is. First up is the new one. Looks like it's 64.4 pounds, so still pretty heavy, but not too bad for its size. And after some struggling, I lifted up the old one on here. It's massive. Not quite as heavy as I thought it would be, but it came at 133.2 pounds. So the new one's about half the weight, so not too bad. Right after an hour or so of work, I've started the top cover. I'm going to do these in 2 pieces, top cover and then another one for the seat on the bottom. So I won't do a tutorial on how this is actually done. There's a lot of really good tutorials online. As you can see here, I've got the hinges. I'm going to put them in underneath the foam, which is how the original was done from the pictures I've seen. So overall, I think it's turned out pretty good so far. I'm not super thrilled with the color, but it's not too bad. So now I'll get to work on actually stretching this out and stapling it down, and I'll be back in a second to show you the results. Alright, so the top cover is done now. I've got it in the boat, I've got the hinges installed on there, and I think overall it's turning out pretty well. It fits in that spot almost perfectly, and I'm pretty satisfied with it so far. I do have some wrinkles right here in the corner. I'm going to take a heat gun to that, and hopefully I can work out most of that. I don't know if I'll be able to get it all out, but we'll see. The other corner, just a couple wrinkles, but not too bad. But overall, it's pretty good. Again, not super happy with the color, but I think once all of the vinyl on the boat has changed, it'll look better. I designed this top piece to kind of flow around so it'll blend in with the side panels up here once I do the new one. So that'll all be it'll be gray on the side panel. It'll just kind of flow into it. So next up, I'll be doing the seat on the bottom, and I'll do that as a whole separate piece. There'll be a wood backer board. So I'll do that, and I'll get back to you and show you how that looks. Alright, so it took a little longer than I thought, but it's finally done. I did do this bench piece on a backer board, and I think it turned out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it overall. Yeah, it's again not super thrilled with the color, but maybe it'll grow on me. I do have a couple wrinkles here in the corner. I'll just take a heat gun to that. I should be able to get it out. But the seat itself fits the space almost perfectly, so I'm very happy with the way that turned out. I still got a couple wrinkles in the corner there. I did take the heat gun to it, but I wasn't quite able to get them out, so unfortunately it'll probably stay like that. But yeah, overall I think it's halfway decent. This front gray piece you can see here, it's a 1 inch higher than the back foam, so it's kind of creates like a form fit in there, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. I've designed this front gray piece so that when I rebuild these side benches, it'll kind of all flow together as you know, kind of look like one piece. So hopefully that'll turn out well. It's kind of funny. You can now see how dirty and gross those old seats are. So I'll probably be in a hurry to get those out of there. Alright, so that's it. The seat's all done. Next up, I'm going to show you the repair of the port side, the big dent that was in the side. So stay tuned for that. So guys, if you remember from the last video, I said that this dent here wasn't as bad as it looked. Well, of course, it is just as bad as it looked. I've taken off a little bit of the material here now, but I'm going to have to take off quite a bit more. And there is actually one spot that looks like it's all the way through the all of the fiberglass, or I'm going to at least have to take it all the way through all the fiberglass. So I'm going to probably take out a pretty good chunk of this, and I'll be layering fiberglass over top of that. I'm not sure how many layers, maybe 6 or so. We'll see. So I'll grind that away, and I will. Yeah, that one spot's pretty bad there. Yeah, so I'll keep grinding this away, and then I will come back and show you how it turns out. Alright, so I've grinded away a little bit more of the material there now. As you can see in this spot right here, it's all the way through the fiberglass. Another little spot up there. So I'm going to have to keep taking off some more material until I get down to good fiberglass, and then I'll start layering up the new layers of fiberglass. And yeah, hopefully I won't have to take off too much more, but we'll see. So yeah, I'll do a little bit more grinding. I'll get back to you. So taking off a little bit more and start to feather out the edge there. I should probably keep going a little bit further, especially with the size of that hole on the left-hand side there. But hopefully I can just take off a little bit more. And once that's done, I'll clean this all up. And I'm going to get started with the layers of fiberglass. So I'll do that, and I'll show you how that turns out. And magically, a day later, I have sanded it all down, and I've layered up. I think this was 5 layers, combination of chopped strand, fiberglass, a couple other different strands. And it actually is coming along pretty well. There's one little low spot there, I think, but overall this is quite solid. So I think that'll work out well. I probably have to do a little bit more glass on the left-hand side there, but I'll sand this off and do that and show you how it turns out. So after sanding it all down, it turned out pretty well. There are a couple of low spots there that I'm going to have to take care of, but overall it's quite solid. It's pretty smooth. Maybe just a little bit more fiberglass on the low spots, and then I'll start using some marine filler, and we should be able to get this all nice and smooth and ready for the primer and the paint. Yeah, you can see there's one little low spot there, so that I will have to put a little bit more glass on there, and yeah, I think this will turn out quite well, so stay tuned. I'll probably do the next layer of glass, and then I'll show you the filler. Alright, as promised, so this is the first layer of filler that I put on, and it's coming along pretty well. There's still some low spots, still some pinholing and stuff, so probably take a few coats of the filler before that's done, and then some glazing putty or something to get rid of any pinholes that are left. So overall I think it's coming out pretty well. It's pretty smooth. I'm just sanding this initially with 100 grit sandpaper, and then I'll work my way down, especially as I get towards the last layers of the filler. So I'm going to leave it there. That'll be the end of this video. As always, if you've got any comments, any suggestions for myself or anybody else, leave them in the comment section below, and hit that subscribe button. Thanks a lot for joining me.